welcome to another movie review. I just saw Tron Ares, which is the third film in the Tron franchise, of course. Before I review the movie, I need to let you guys know I am a little sick at the moment. I've been sick since Sunday. Sinus thing, congestion thing. This happens to me, around this time of year, pretty much every year. And it's also raining outside. I don't know if you could see that. Not raining heavy, just a little drizzle. So if it starts to rain, sorry. If it starts to rain heavier, I should say. I am also reviewing Roofman today. I'm going to be seeing that next. So the review for Roofman should be up at the same time as this one if you're more interested in that movie. Because frankly, I'm more interested in that movie. Not that I dislike this movie, by the way. I'll get into it, obviously. But a lot of people have been hating this movie. Not hating it. Mostly mixed to negative reviews. I haven't really been seeing any positive reviews. Before I talk about the movie all around, I want to say with Tron, I'm not really a fan of this franchise. I saw the first movie like many years ago when I was either early teens, or just, kid still. I forget how old I was, but it was on TV, and I remember seeing the part where Flynn goes into the game and he meets all the other people and he's talking with them and whatnot. The part where Ram dies. So I never finished the movie though. I only remember that part, and I never watched Tron Legacy. I remember that movie was a big deal when it came out. I was a freshman in high school and it looked awesome. Jeff Bridges was off the heels of winning an Oscar, and it just looked like a really cool movie. It's just I had never seen the first one, so I never went and watched that one. So for this movie, I watched the whole entirety of the first Tron movie for the first time, and I watched Tron Legacy for the first time. And Tron Legacy was awesome. It wasn't like a perfect movie or anything, but it was leagues better than the first movie. I don't know if that's like a hot take or anything. I didn't really like the first movie. Don't get me wrong, it's a classic. It's groundbreaking. I'm sure the effects at the time were like unlike anything else. Early 80s, a whole movie basically centered around being stuck inside a video game. And obviously nowadays it does not hold up. But like I said, all respect to that, even like the old Star Wars films, all respect to old special effects. They did what they could at the time. But the first movie is not really a good movie. Like, it's really, all it is a guy trapped in a video game. When you strip everything away, that's really what the movie is. There's no real story to it, really. I mean, there is, but there really isn't. Legacy has a little more to it. It's also a guy going into a video game, but like, there's layers. You get the whole father-son dynamic, and Olivia Wilde's character wanting to be real, and other things like that. And then this movie is a totally different thing. The trailers didn't really impress me. The only thing I was looking forward to was the Nine Inch Nails music, because they really featured that in the trailers. And I gotta say, that is something that this movie hugely benefits from. Like, the soundtrack to this movie was incredible. And the sound. Like, I saw it in IMAX, which definitely go see it in IMAX, because a movie like this, you have to. This is probably the most bassiest movie I've ever seen in a theater. Like, there was so much bass in this movie, which, I'm giving compliments, really. And like I said, visually, absolutely stunning. Like, I really don't have any complaints at all when it comes to the CGI or any of the effects. Like, everything looked, like, flawless, which is something I really liked in Tron Legacy. And this is one of the biggest compliments I can ever give to a movie, by the way. Tron Legacy gave me like Blade Runner 2049 vibes, and that movie came out like almost a whole decade before Blade Runner 2049. So yeah, that is this series definitely has that going for it. Is like the aesthetics and like the way everything looks, like visually just stunning. I don't see anybody complaining about the visuals and the music. There's no way. So if you're into that stuff, if you don't care about story or whatever, like, this is definitely a treat to go see in IMAX. So the premise of this movie, you basically have the Dillinger Company, who was, the main bad guy in the first movie. You have his grandson, played by Evan Peters, And then you also have the NCOM company, which was Flynn's company. And basically that's being headed by a woman. Her name's Eve, I think. Sorry, I'm kind of blanking right now. I think her name's Eve. Sorry if I got that wrong. I don't even know the actress's name. I don't think I've seen her in anything. Sorry. I should have paid attention to like the credits or whatever. So you have these two heads of these companies that are rivals with each other for years, and they're both trying to find a way to use the AI technology of the Tron world, essentially, to bring good to the world. Now, the Dillingers kind of have a different idea. Evan Peters' character wants to create basically super soldiers using the AI, and they are super soldiers. And the main super soldier is Ares, played by Jared Leto, which I'll get to, because I know that's a concern for people, is Jared Leto. And he has these flawless superheroes, but there is one major flaw that he can't really fix, but he has to get it from the NCOM company. And he basically uses these soldiers as his own personal army to get this certain thing from them. And things come into the real world, and chaos ensues. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say too much. And it was interesting, like I said, because you can only do so much with this franchise. Bringing the Tron stuff into the real world was a good idea, I think. You know, because like I said, both movies, you have people going into the Tron world. It's kind of interesting to see the opposite of that. Now, I mentioned Jared Leto. I feel like he gets such a bad rap because of what happened with Joker and Morbius. He's a good actor. I mean, he is. He has an Oscar. You know, I know people are going to say that doesn't matter. I mean, not just anybody gets Oscars. You know what I mean? Like, you can make arguments about certain people that didn't deserve one, but, like, you know what I mean? It just doesn't fall into your hands. He is a good actor. Requiem for a Dream, Dallas Buyers Club, which he won for, you know. And say what you will about Joker, I feel like it's mostly Warner Brothers' fault in that movie. You know, we need to see the David Ayer version. I'm pretty sure there was something more to that we didn't see. Morbius, again, that's fine. I give you that one. But Jared Leto is a good actor. I love him in Blade Runner 2049, like I mentioned earlier. And in this movie, he does what's necessary, because this character is essentially a robot, and he does play it off very straight, very much like a robot. And he does try to have some, like, because, okay, I didn't mention this too with the movie. His character is sort of like trying to become more human in a way. Like, he's sort of going against his programming. Like, he's different, you know. He's seeing the humanity in others, and he's trying to be more like that, which I thought was interesting. So he does have little moments of, like, trying to be funny, you know, nothing laugh out loud, but he did his job. Like, I thought he was fine in the movie. Like, again, I'm going to say this movie overall was fine. Like, I wouldn't say it's bad. Is it good? No, I wouldn't say that either. It's just totally fine. If you want to say mid, whatever, I guess it's mid. But again, for the visuals alone and the score and the whole aesthetic of everything, I'm going to give it a C+. It really should be a C-, and you could argue it could be a D, but I'm going to give it a C+, mainly because the visuals and the score were so good. Like, it kind of knocks it up a little bit for me. Knocks up. That's weird wording. Sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know. If people hate this movie, I get it. You know, it is what it is. It's a sort of turn your brain off science fiction action movie, you know. And the action was good, too. Like, seeing the Tron stuff in the real world was interesting, especially the light cycles, which I feel like they're the most iconic thing from Tron. Now, I would have liked maybe a little more of the Tron stuff in the real world. But what we got was fine, though. I thought it was cool. Evan Peters is over the top as the villain. The main actress does a good job. Again, I don't know her name. But nothing special in this movie. You know, nothing really... Again, I'm going to say the visuals and the score are the only thing that stand out. Excuse me. Now, this isn't a spoiler, because in the trailers they show it. Jeff Bridges comes back, and he's the only recurring person in all three movies at this point. So he did his job. You know, I liked his appearance in the movie. They do something, too, which I wasn't expecting, and I don't know what it was. I really like that. They did this aesthetic choice when you get to see his character, you'll know what I mean when you see it. That was really cool. I really dug that. Because the trailers, for me, it made this movie feel very disconnected from the other two. Like it was going to be its old separate thing. And for the most part, it is. But there are nice little references to the first movie. And this thing I'm talking about, if you're a fan of the first movie, you're going to love it. This little reference, aesthetically, you know. I don't want to say too much. But yeah, I'm going to give the movie a C+. But it really should be a C- if I'm being honest. But again, Nine Inch Nails killed it with the soundtrack. And it was a spectacle. It really was. I don't know what the budget is on this movie, but I feel like because of all the negative reviews, people are probably not going to see it, and it's probably going to bomb at the box office, which is unfortunate. You know, I don't wish that upon any movie, really, even if I don't like it. But this movie should make its money back. I could tell, like, they put a lot of hard work into, you know, all the stuff. So I'm going to give it a C+, which would be like a 6 out of 10. If you think that's too high of a score, I'm sorry. But let me know in the comments how you'd rank all three movies. For me, Legacy is definitely number 1. This would be 2. And then the first one, I didn't like the first one. I'm sorry. So, yeah, see, I'm sick. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. And stay tuned for my review of Roofman. I'll be seeing that next. And have a good one. Bye-bye.